Hey everyone, AHM1K here. This is going to be a different kind of video for me, actually. Today, I wanted to do something a little bit different because next week I'm hoping to have another episode of Earthrise come out. So I thought, why not actually do something I've wanted to do for a long time, which was basically kind of do like a reaction video to one of my own, but at the same time more like a director's commentary, right? So I thought it would be interesting maybe for you. I'm going to replay the whole Siege season and, just let you know what's going on. What was going on inside my head while I was filming it, any challenges, behind the scenes stuff, stuff that might actually be interesting. Stuff that changed, explanations behind certain things, anything you could think of. Maybe if you had questions that didn't get answered, maybe this will be it. Also, it's just, I guess, interesting. So, I don't know. Let's get right into it. The Endless Void. Okay, it is working. Alright, so let's crack this bad boy open. Gotta put my copy disclaimer there. So, heads up, I might pause this every now and then. Just to not get too ahead. I love that font. It's called Combatron. Little fancy fade out. Turn the text red like, ooh, wow, name drop Siege. I spent 2 hours doing that Cybertron in Photoshop because I wanted it to look different than all the others. I didn't want to use a standard image. At the time I made this, I was working at a place called Pierce College. I actually spent a lot of time on one of my last days trying to figure out how to do something like that hologram right there. The Siege intro that I didn't make for the first 5 or 6 episodes. It came later, and after that I fell in love with it. But I also wasn't sure this was going to take off. I wasn't sure it was going to get the interest, so I did this one out of random. I didn't think it was going to do too many of them. I didn't think people were even going to like it, really. But people liked it, so I kept doing them. I really like that circuit figure. My early Cybertron set, which is basically like a weed block ground cover thing that you bury it to block weeds from growing out. Some foam inserts. The circuit foam insert actually right there behind barricade, and then a little camping lamp, another foam insert. I think that one was probably for my my Collector's Club depth charge. I spent way too long trying to figure out that red dot light too. It took me forever. And eventually my original plan didn't work, so I just kind of masked a solid in Adobe After Effects. Super small cast at the time too. I just did it myself, and then I had Marvelous Prime as Barricade, and that was again just because I wasn't sure people were even gonna like this, so I wasn't gonna like go out of the way and be like, "Hey guys, you want to commit to a big old project? Not sure if it's gonna do well. Not sure if we're gonna do any more, but we'll do it." I wasn't gonna do anything like that. So this pilot was really like a test, and it did really well really quickly. So I was like, "Okay, cool. We're gonna do another one then." And then now we're 2 seasons deep. I've written the finale, and I'm writing Kingdom now. It's actually been one of the more interesting projects I've worked on, all things considered, because people actually pay very close attention to what's going on during it. And if I have like a filming error or anything like that, they let me know. So I'm like, wow, you remember that? I didn't even remember that. So for a project that has that kind of following, I really appreciate that. It's really cool. And I mean, yeah, it's just really cool that people seem to remember it better than I do at times. My little shot like, oh look, Megatron. Set up for episode 2. Episode 2! First episode was pretty much just set up. Episode 2, I wanted to explain, like, here's the backstory. Now, I didn't want episode 1 to be all backstory. Because, you know, content longevity. It makes people interested when they don't quite understand what's going on. So they want to watch more to understand to understand it. So, to make sure the pilot worked, I didn't do the backstory as the pilot. Just at least the introductions. Had some green screening errors too there. I'm not a big fan of the cloth green screen that I have. There's exactly why.
Why aren't we inside? These blast doors are thick, but we'll get through them soon.
I also really wanted to avoid using Movieverse figures, so the few times I did really use them, they get killed quick.
Why is this Rise saying hurry up? The labor drops dead.
I also chose Nitro Zeus as a character because at the time I was moving, just like I am now, which explains the mess behind me. So I was using characters I had available to me at the time, the ones that weren't packed just yet, so I packed Nitro. I had packed a bunch of other ones, so I had used Nitro Zeus for this video.
Lord Megatron, unless the Autobots start firing again, we won't be able to trace their position. Then we're getting in this arc now!
They've broken through the blast doors.
Wallabies, they've broken through the blast door. Their backs will be turned to you. Open fire.
You missed Megatron's head on purpose.
I wanted him to hurry up. Optimus called dibs on him anyways.
What should I do?
Strafe them.
Looks like no one's home. Do you think the bots outside were distractions so Prime could escape? Unlikely. Prime would not forsake his precious ark so easily. They're setting a trap. So, what do? Spring the trap.
I like the idea, Buckethead. I suppose that's why they call me Springer.
Huh, witty.
Push forward! I will face Optimus Prime today. Yes, sir. I'll take him out.
Thanks for the assist, Breaker.
We cleared out the rear flank. They're boxed in.
Hold them up. Prime is mine.
Me? We never met in person before.
The other Prime. The one that actually matters. Kill him, Nitro Zeus.
Megatron just shoving his way past, like, move, bitch, get out the way.
Shouldn't be too much of a problem now. Should?
Incorrect. If I'm going down, I'm taking you all with me.
Megatron's reached the nerve center.
Herman, where are you, Optimus? Too afraid to face me? A failed trap by a failed pride. How amusing.
Only one of us will walk away from this one.
I really needed to boost Optimus's audio in this episode. He was very quiet. I was still using Magic's Movie Edit Pro at this time, and that one is not very good for audio leveling.
It's a good fight, eh?
Now you won't have to watch me behead you.
Good idea. Don't. We gotta help Optimus.
Unhand me and fight.
Like this.
Back when my Optimus Prime figure was posable.
More Optimus Prime. Grant me
I don't know what happened, but that Optimus Prime figure these days, I can't get it to hold a pose with his arms for the life of me. Like,
You were right, Optimus.
he can bend his elbows, and that's about as much posability as he gets, which is why I had to.
Doesn't intend to die today.
I killed off Optimus Prime in Earthrise because it was just like, it wasn't like a story-based decision. I mean, it was a practical decision. Like, the figure just doesn't work anymore. I don't want to buy another Optimus Prime figure. So story-wise, it adjusted the story's direction a little bit.
You'll have large shoes to fill if you ever live up to his legacy.
A day you'll never see.
Even in death I will live on. My legacy eternal. My name never forgotten. But one day my followers will see me in command again. I will return.
Megatron basically dropping prophecies on people.
We got Sprizzy through a Google search, pretty much. I was looking for a way to mark out our...
Where's Megatron?
I don't know. I just came to. What happened?
Megatron has been defeated.
Hmm.
Doubt he will succumb to his movements.
The black frame flash, that was another issue I was having with Magix, which is why I moved away from it, because I got so tired of doing that. It was becoming too common.
We must divide our forces. A team
And it wasn't anything I was doing. It was doing that in the export just because
how the Receptacons
it just sucked. It was an expired software that was outdated. Didn't work anymore.
to reestablish grounds for the Autobots' return into Cybertron.
Two governors, primes, two worlds to fight for, half the resources. What could go wrong?
Shockwave, what are you doing?
Stop screwing, would much rather see you dead. In time, after a long repair cycle, you may return to resume command of your empire.
Shockwave, do not put me in stasis!
If I do not, you will not survive. Forgive me, Master, but there is no alternative option. For now, the logical option is to counter Starscream's posturing for command with mine. Keeping the Decepticon's loyalty in constant flux will create an easy route for Megatron to resume command.
Yeah, I felt really smart coming up with that. I was like, oh wow, that would make sense. Like if Megatron or Shockwave and Starscream are constantly duking it out, it's like who's in charge? Well, obviously when Megatron shows up, and now more like everyone's gonna be like, oh wow, Megatron, we defer to you.
That machine.
You don't even know what this is. You don't know what I'm even doing.
And now I wanted to convey, like, we saw Shockwave has things on lock on Cybertron, so here my thought was, let's show like how much of a disaster piece Starscream's got going on Earth. Like who knows what he's doing really, but it's not working, whatever it is.
Another Cybertronian in the middle of a sandstorm. It's not like there's much else to do.
Keep him talking, Streetwise. Ask about the machine.
That machine there. What is it?
Wouldn't you like to know? I guess I can tell you. You won't live to tell your friends. It's this thing Starscream's been working on called the Weather Dominator.
Inspired by G.I. Joe.
Captures samples of Earth's weather patterns and can manipulate elements to recreate said weather patterns as Starscream pleases. Take, for instance, a sandstorm in Alaska. If Screaming wants that, he can have it at the flip of a switch.
So, I was definitely in the right to try and sabotage it.
That you were. A lot of heinous things will come from this machine.
About not telling my friends, though, I kinda don't have to. You did that for me.
I did what? Another Autobot!
You won't be leaving with that machine, Decepticon.
You will be leaving with your life.
That sandstorm is actually an Adobe After Effects simulated snowstorm where I have the wind going so strong that it has the snowflakes falling horizontally. Then obviously, you change the color, then be more sand color.
I can't see anything in this storm.
But yeah, that's actually supposed to be snow. It's a snow effect.
Hold still.
I don't think so.
He clearly has no sense of tracking. I'm going to use this storm to my advantage.
What the? I've got to be more careful around this thing.
The thing he can't see, I've ripped it to book. Just needs something to trigger an explosion.
Show yourself. Have some dignity and fight me face to face. Or die like a coward.
Well, looks like he gave away his position.
That could work as a trigger agent. Hey, come get me!
This place is a mess.
You think he survived?
This whole episode was actually inspired by a scene in Mad Max Fury Road.
I hate to be here with Star.
The Fury Road. Yeah, it was Fury Road. That movie where there's the scene where there's like a giant, of course, a sandstorm going on, and the guy, he was just blinded and he's firing off tracer shots all over the place trying to figure out where Max and what's her face was. I can't remember characters' names. But he's off firing tracer shots, but it's also kind of giving away his position out in there. So yeah, that was kind of the whole inspiration behind that whole video there.
Out there being followers of Megatron. This begs the question as to who they take their orders from. A question I would have consolidated the matrix of leadership for answers if its energy had not already been expelled in the battles ensued.
Explanation here why the Matrix cannot be used as a weapon, because I see time and time again too many people use the Matrix as a weapon. It's like the last ditch effort, weapon effort. We just took that out of play right here in the very beginning. And I wanted to make that very clear because I don't want that to be a crutch that I can lean on ever. I like it when, if it's going to be a war, it's going to be a practical war.
I hope this message reaches you quickly.
It appears we must accelerate our timetable.
Also, there's my clip art sound wave because I didn't have sound wave at the time of making this video.
Science Officer Perceptor, service number 127865. Could Intelligence Officer Blur please meet me in the cortex, please? I did. Apologies for my shock. I often forget your tendency to fast reckless motion.
I've got the need for speed, Perceptor.
Yes. Well, this task I'm going to...
You know, it's actually kind of funny. I don't have that blur figure anymore.
Speed.
You gonna let me go fast?
Normally...
I saw a message from the voice actor asking if he was still in the War for Cybertron trilogy, and I went looking for that figure.
Yes, we're going to have
I don't know what happened to it, to be honest.
to.
I don't have it anymore. I don't think I sold it, but
How'd you go for me?
yeah, so I mean, I don't know if it got lost in the move. I don't know what happened, but I don't have that blur anymore, actually.
If this is where all the Autobot prisoners are being held here on
It's actually
Cybertron,
a bit of a shame, because I kind of liked it.
Martinez issued this sort of mission.
Rodimus is already investigating.
It was a neat little blur figure.
I want you to locate him and ensure he's alright and provide backup if necessary.
Wow, that's pretty serious. I'm on it.
Wait, I didn't give you the coordinates yet.
Whoop, my bad. Hit me with them. And look where to look. If I were Rodimus Prime, where would I be? Maybe that guy would know. See a firm anywhere around these parts?
I never told you what it was.
Not cool.
Fire me already.
Nah.
Robots are coming a shockwave. There's an Autobot running around, claiming to be looking for a prime. A prime? No prime can be allowed to discover my lab. My work depends on it.
Wow, what is this place?
Damn it!
Halfway ground.
The timing of this could not be any worse. He cannot reach Megatron.
I thought you were a scientist. Where did you learn to fight?
As the governor for Lord Megatron's Cybertron, it became logical to develop.
I don't remember why I chose to do this episode in green screen.
In order to repel challenges.
When I had started doing this project, I had kind of told myself I wanted to avoid the green screen,
I don't think I can match any wrong.
so I don't remember that. Oh man, that figure is dusty too right there. I didn't even notice that.
Megatron, he's supposed to be dead.
Autobot!
I have to report this to.
Your failure to act was illogical, and it will cost you dearly.
Sucks to suck, Autobot!
I was referring to you, Barricade. You had the Autobot at gunpoint and failed to act. You should have been dead before I arrived. Fortunately, Megatron was not damaged in any way.
Ah, Rodimus, excellent. Blur has retrieved you.
My apologies. My communicator broke. Blur did what, though?
Next episode, though, set up.
I know, right? Lucky you. You get to go to Earth, where the war effort is nice and cozy, and where we're actually not doing so bad. Meanwhile, the rest of us are stuck here on Cybertron fighting one losing battle after another.
It's not like that, Sergeant. Rodimus gave me this mission. It's a message so important we could have received some kind of recipient.
You certainly didn't deny it either. You want this because it's a one-way ticket away from Shockwave. He's too smart, too cunning, and vastly outmatches us strategically. Meanwhile, Starscream's best plan is the continued reuse of cartoonesque war machines that tend not to function properly or tend to be easily destroyed. But you're right, it's not about that at all.
And let's just...
Yeah, let's. We wouldn't want you to miss your arranged travel plans now, would we? Decepticons, how'd they find us?
I don't know. But since they have the insiders for us,
I got you now, Circuit!
I also wanted Barricade to have a little bit of a grudge there because
Now!
Like the whole Barricade's character in general has always been based off grudges. He's always has a grudge with Bumblebee. He's got a grudge with Circuit here. He's got grudge. So many grudges.
Don't worry about me. Just go.
Roger that.
The last oracle has escaped me. You, however, were.
Come on.
Skip that.
Perfect timing.
Shockwave.
There's that black frame, or that black frame spasming again.
You were captured and brought to one of my many laboratories I have on Cybertron.
Why explain our situation to us?
Because you will not be leaving here alive. All three of you will
At this point, I also wasn't intending on having Soundwave speak.
Three of us.
I wasn't planning on having a voice actor, and then Lockbot CRM told me he was practicing this new Soundwave voice that he wanted to work on. So I was like, oh, cool. Well, maybe we'll give that a shot then. It was really good. And I was like, all right, cool. Looks like Soundwave is going to have a voice after all.
Prepare the transfer.
What do you need us for?
Once again, I'm having an issue with quiet audio, so I got to fix that. Or I did fix that now. But this was still a result. This was still going on because I was still using Magic's Movie Edit Pro, and that was just quiet audio problem.
Transfer just enough jewels to jumpstart Megatron's inactive spot. The Autobot Blur will provide an energon transfusion as Megatron's, while having been preserved, is old and in need of replacement. And then that leaves you.
Well, what noble purpose am I serve?
As illogical as I find it, Megatron will want a plaything to exact his rage towards. After, of course, you explain why you were searching for a functioning temperature regulator.
I collect things. Simple as that.
Illogical. You are attempting to construct something. Fear not, Autobot Cog. We will discover this mystery mechanism and what you intend to use it for. Train them. I must prepare the cortical psychic patch to find the information in Cog's mind. Notify me when our master awakes.
Going to break free and safe. I'd rather not go back. In that case, so is Megatron's.
A temperature regulator of this model will only operate with an older, outdated mechanism. It's illogical.
I don't remember why I went with that background either.
Applied to would be
Especially since it looks like it's stretched, so it was probably too small, and I stretched it to fit the screen. I don't know why I did that. I don't like the look of that. That's blurry. Huh. Very confused.
If the Autobots manage to escape, they'll use the space bridge. Soundwave.
Another ad. Wow. Really wants to get me to use Sprizzy.
Not going easy, I see. Well then.
We gotta get out of here now. Rodimus' message has to reach Optimus.
I don't think I can hold Soundwave back for much longer.
I know a way out of here.
We'll lead the way.
What happened? They mean to commandeer the space bridge. They cannot be allowed to return. They must have something of great importance which cannot fall into the Autobots' hands. Or worse, Starscream's.
Earth should still be the set coordinates programmed. Fleur and I will make sure you get through safely.
You both have to come with me. If you don't,
Okay, yeah, I was like, I didn't think that we were. For a second, I thought we were halfway through the series, and I was like, what? No, that's not
What
possible.
about Rodimus and the Autobots?
Actually, I think it is.
They need us.
they'll have to leave you for now. If this message gets out, burn, and Rodimus and your whole effort on Cybertron will be just fine.
So I think this was episode
Burn, trust me. That's
5.
because to get to Optimus.
He's right.
Yeah, episode 5.
We only have a small window to jump through. Don't miss it.
Fleur, we have to go.
Using my Bifrost effect because I like the look of that, and I wanted the space bridge to look a little different.
Made it?
Yeah. We're certain.
We were sent to collect whatever came from the space bridge. We're expecting a so.
I have to speak with Optimus Prime meeting. I haven't heard your message.
Run that by me, kid. Megatron's alive?
Hopefully not anymore. One hour escape by Damage's crouch. But they recaptured the servant. And it's not like there aren't any other Autobots they captured to use for an MUI transfusion.
Any message?
Rodimus says we're down to our last few Autobots on the search. But rather than deploy them to the combat zone, he's had us deploy the over into chaos, scouring the whole vortex. We found the schematic from the space bridge. Rodimus is proposing on our base. He said the schematic will be straight to you.
If we could construct a space bridge of our own, we can reinforce and provide greater aid for each other. We could turn the tide of the war in our favor at long last.
Unfortunately, according to the schematics, there's a pretty specific list of materials needed. Starscream is currently hoarding most of them away.
Then we'll steal them from the Decepticons. We must aid Rodimus and our rivers on Cybertron, no matter the cost.
Another ad is popping up. You gotta be kidding me. These things are never ending. Also, that's the first significant death there, Circuit. This is, oddly enough, the War for Cybertron is intended to be like a fan series. Or a fan service series. Which is uncommon for me. Most of the time I just do what I want to do because I think it would be funny. But this one is actually an intended fan service doing what fans would want. And I was like, ooh, let's try this. Let's try and sneak in an actual death for a fan service series. So Circuit was my test death. Nobody left any serious hate saying, oh no, why'd you kill Circuit? So it's like, okay, cool. We can have death in this.
It was done with your best interest in mind, Lord Megatron.
You sought to remove me from the picture and position yourself in command.
Incorrect. Starscream sought to.
Really? Then to explain why you were the one to rush replacement into space.
Soundwave had intercepted communication from Starscream. He had learned of your injuries, and figuring your private car had gotten you out, launched a strike team to intercept you. He had no idea Soundwave and I were the ones to retrieve you from the arm. You required recovery time or you would have been easily terminated by Starscream. By creating this illusion you were dead, Starscream ceased his search for you. By rivaling Starscream's posture for supremacy, the Decepticons' loyalty has remained in constant fluctuation, which will create an easy path for you to retake your empire.
I needed to boost that audio.
Too good to ignore. To not act would have been illogical.
And where is Starscream now?
Starscream's arrogance has caused a rift in the war efforts on Cybertron and Earth. He refuses to send the necessary resources to continue our operations here effectively, and instead waste them on frivolous doomsday devices that continually fail to function as properly as they would had they been designed by me.
Starscream has caused irreparable damage to the colony. The secret's tokens eager.
With your return, Master, I ask permission to deal with Starscream personally.
I think we all shall be paying a visit to Earth. Starscream needs reminding of what we have accomplished.
Are you sure you don't want me on the mission? Prime's orders. Keep the team small to better avoid detection. What should we do in the meantime? Be ready. This mission could go south at any moment, so we need backup at the ready just in case. You can count on me. That's the spirit.
And to be told to stand aside. They was not intelligent enough to continue living.
I will rip your insides apart the first chance I think. My bad. It's cool. It's cool.
Take us to where all the precious resources are stored.
Alright, your funeral.
What do you mean?
To find what you're looking for, you gotta go to Starscream's workshop. To get there, you have to cross the main chamber. Those are literally the only two places Starscream ever is. You're gonna get caught.
You'll let us worry about Starscream.
There has to be another way to his workshop.
There isn't. It'll take a miracle for something to distract his watchful eye if he's in the main chamber.
We may just be in luck.
You are full to come here, Governor Shockwave.
I did not come alone, Governor Starscream.
Ah, Soundwave. It has been some time. I thought you had killed yourself over the loss of poor Metatron. May you rust in whatever dumpster you want.
Starscream, we did not come to banter. We came to repay you for your cooperation and dedication to the cause.
Do notice here Shockwave is starting to lose his temper a little bit. This is one thing I wanted that like occasionally happen.
I do not.
And anytime he does lose his temper, he does actually a lot of damage.
You've learned how to fight.
And you've remained the same weakling you've always been.
This is rather illogical behavior of you, don't you think?
For you, Starscream, I'm willing to make an exception.
I have always been a superior warrior to you.
Maybe so, but
What? What?
Shockwave is merely fighting to evaluate your early threat. So far, I've not.
Lord Megatron.
Now is our chance, Ironhide. Every Decepticon's attention is otherwise preoccupied.
Megatron?
Oh, don't let me distract you, Starscream. I want my governors to sort out their differences.
surrender is unaccepted. This only ends with your termination.
Cease your aggression, Shockwave. I think I should have to start something else.
Yes, Master.
As for you remain my governor of Earth. This time under Soundwave's guidance. At the slightest hint that you are scheming against me again, you will be publicly executed. I will not tolerate further inconsistency.
He's retaking control again.
He must be stopped.
I've got just the tool for the job.
The Autobots?
Apologies, Lord Megatron. Their being here was a slight oversight I would have crushed had I not been otherwise occupied.
Your blunder may have cost me my communications officer, and will not go unpunished.
Master, please, wait!
Now this one is one I was waiting for in the sense that it doesn't necessarily fit with the rest of the story. It's more, I was originally thinking it would be an expanded universe video, but then I thought, you know what, I don't want to do an expanded universe for Siege and Earthrise, so we're just gonna fly it under the Siege banner. It's just gonna be an episode.
We'd like to thank you for telling us the location of the Autobot base. But unfortunately, we did lie on one matter.
Contrary to what was promised, you will not be left alive.
That's right, Ion Storm. We can't have any loose ends. Acid Storm.
All too true, Nova Storm. Don't worry. Just like the Autobot resistance, we'll make your death violent and painful.
Yeah.
At least put up a little fight.
Alright, I want some now. Hail the bird.
I mean, like, this is just a downright torture. It's dark, and I like that.
Now this Acid Storm.
I've got something fun for her. You may want to get out of the rain, boys. That rain is highly acidic.
And Alita 1, just like that, is melted.
She's dead.
Sorry, boys. I didn't mean to cut the blood short.
I just relayed our newly discovered coordinates to the Autobot base to Shockwave. We've got orders to direct our attack there.
Awesome.
Let's make it rain.
Come in, everyone, for I've had a revelation today.
What diabolical scheme has crossed your mind, Master?
Diabolical? No. I have come to the realization I care not for Earth anymore.
Apologies, Master. Does this mean we are...
The Decepticons' occupation of Earth will cease immediately.
This is my setup a little bit for Earthrise right here.
Lost on this energy terrain hole on the planet.
Like, Megatron, like, the Cybertronians come to Earth, cause a lot of havoc. Megatron just decides on a whim, you know what? Deuces mates.
No! I said we're done here!
So I thought that was kind of my thinking, like, this is going to be a little bit of setup for Earthrise. Because right now, at this point, I knew what Earthrise was going to be. I knew the plan for there. And I thought, okay, cool. Well, if we do a little bit of setup, you know, it can't hurt. I mean, because one of the reason the humans are coming to Cybertron and Earthrise is they're pissed off. The Cybertronians came to their world, started a war, tore things up, killed people, and then you know what? They just dipped. They just ducked out before they could get even, really, and that was... And that's really kind of like the big problem for Earthrise. Or the big inspiration for the humans in Earthrise, so... Naturally, they're gonna come to Cybertron and get theirs.
If you wish to remain a governor, Starscream, you may remain here and brush with the Autobots on this forsaken battle.
Cybertron is ready for your return to power, my lord.
Have your most trusted warriors begin the attack now. Soften their defenses for our arrival. Today, the Decepticons shall win the war for Cybertron with one final siege.
Damn.
YouTube is the #1 site for millions of creators online, but as more people flood.
It's finished, Optimus. All we need to do is activate it, and assuming Rodimus is finished on his end, then we should be able to reach Cybertron.
What do you mean if Rodimus hasn't finished? You mean he ain't done yet?
He and Perceptor were nearly finished when they sent me. So as long as the base wasn't attacked, they should be finished.
Optimus, any word from Cybertron?
Rodimus has been unresponsive for some time. With Megatron's return, we felt it best to limit communications to absolute desperate circumstances.
Wouldn't making a blind jump into space or a controlled one to the desired location qualify as important enough?
I see your point, Hound. I will try to contact him once more. However, I fear we will not be able to wait much longer before we will be too late to provide aid. With Shockwave presumably still on Earth, it is now or never to get to Cybertron without his detection.
I hate this plan, Optimus. I ain't gonna lie about it.
Okay, I'll go first.
That will not be necessary. Unfortunately, since we have no way to communicate with Earth once we're through, there will be no way we can confirm whether we've arrived at our target or not. Therefore, we all have to go at once.
Oh snap. Okay, let's do this then.
Let's hope they're ready for us up there.
Or that it works. Flying scumbag? Perceptor, I need a status update.
The space bridge is mostly operational. However, we can't get as stable as
At this point, I think the thinking for me was that the only two Autobots left there were Rodimus and Perceptor.
we need to seize this bombardment if we want to establish a strong connection.
Well, it's just you and me, so that's not
Yeah.
possible.
That's just those two. And these two are trying to fight off
Lines up lost in space.
a Decepticon invasion.
Don't let up. Shockwave wants us to soften their defenses before he arrives on the scene personally. On second thought, obliterate them. Then we'll be the ones who destroy the Autobot resistance. We'll be better off in Megatron's eyes if we destroy them. Shockwave just wants to take credit for himself.
I like that plan.
I never pictured you as a bot of action.
Well, if you die, I certainly will as well.
What was that?
A power fluctuation. A lot of power was just used.
You don't think.
That the Autobots made a blind jump and actually crossed the space bridge here? Highly improbable. I mean, the probability of them surviving is 1 in a million, and I'll check it out.
Some of the boys want to go in and wipe them out themselves.
That was an improv line for the Perceptor part.
This as well.
We'll all go. We're stronger as a unit.
What was that?
Big reveal.
Look out!
Surprise! Optimus Prime made it to Cybertron.
Cease your attack.
We will never take orders from a bride. The odds are stacked in our favor.
You suck.
Do I really?
Fuck you with it.
Don't get too close to him.
What do we do?
We bring out the big guns.
Good evening, Bruce.
Constructicons, combine to form Devastator.
This is getting redundant here.
Better than us being caught by surprise.
No argument there. What is going on out there?
Prime's doing what he does best. Pissing off Decepticons.
Kill runt. Irritating. No. Where are you, Tiny?
Right here, Devastator.
My
Lights out, Decepticon.
Oh look, the Rainmakers.
That's what we've got here, boys. Optimus Prime.
This is where I kind of started to deviate from fan service a little, because everybody wanted me to have Optimus kill the Rainmakers for Alita, and I was like, why? Why? I don't see the point. I mean, I know they all like doing the Optimus Alita relationship. I don't care for it. So that's not actually a thing in Siege Earthrise deal. That it's just Alita is just a robot, Prime is just a robot. There's no relationships. Robots don't do
Where a
relationships.
large cluster of Autobots are currently being held.
You don't mean...
We must free the Autobots that Shockwave has captured.
That's impossible. Kaon Prison is impenetrable.
Together, you and I will accomplish the impossible.
You and...
Damn. This is determined to like spam me with freaking ads.
Die?
This is my favorite episode of Siege right here. The Kaon Prison Break. Not only just because I shoehorned a bunch of screen capture that I did from Fall of Cybertron, which I did, and that was awesome. I enjoyed doing that. And it turned out really good. Like this shot right here, I love this shot. But, you know, I like the story.
Kaon Prison is
And
just
I like
up ahead.
the background. I just like the whole deal.
You're probably going to die, right? Shockwave has kept this place so locked down, not even Decepticons can leave.
The Matrix of Leadership has guided me through greater perils than this.
But the Matrix is gone, remember? You spent its energy in the fight against Unicron. Everything we do...
Just a reminder that the Matrix is not a crutch here. You cannot be leaned on.
That was a joke, right? That was a joke. Come on, 4 o'clock.
I see them.
Nicely done. What's your plan for getting in? We don't want to trip the alarm. Okay, so we're setting off the alarm and just going for it. Love it. Love the team spirit.
Stick together. If we separate, we die.
Copy that.
Both primes here.
Do not let them succeed.
Get behind me.
Most impressive.
I had a good teacher. He didn't think I actually listened, but I did.
I am grateful to see my teachings were not lost on you after all. But you have still much to learn.
I hope you haven't made dinner plans, because you won't be leaving here alive.
I'll take it. You must reach the control room.
I enjoyed that line actually.
What about not separating?
We do not have time to discuss hypocritical orders.
I'll kill you for that.
No, you won't.
You thought you could steal from...
Foreshadowing from earlier, now taking effect. If you split up, we die. Well, they split up. And because of that, Rodimus dies. Getting all the backgrounds for this episode was so painful. I had to go to so many different places. I had to play a couple different levels, actually. Like the opening shot had to go to like the episode where Starscream breaks Grimlock out of Fall of Cybertron in Fall of Cybertron. Here, this is the multiplayer map, obviously, for the prison. For the prison cells, I had to go play the Megatron Wakes Up episode, or the Megatron Reawakens level to go get those cell backgrounds. I've thought about going and using more backgrounds from the game again, because that would be cool.
Optimus, get out of here!
Get out of here now! Megatron and the governors are here. They're not gonna let you leave. Go, now, please!
Rodimus?
That was my kill. Hello, Bride. What am I to do with you, Shockwave?
Kill off
Your idiotic,
Rodimus.
illogical desires. My prison, which I have held intact since its construction, was just robbed. My property robbed, and my record tarnished. Because you were distracted by revenge against the weaker Prime.
I would think on your next words very...
Another example of Shockwave starting to lose his cool here.
I think saving your life was a waste of energy.
Takes a lot for Shockwave to lose.
This will start to play a little more in both Earthrise and what is that? Oh, Earthrise and Kingdom. That right there will start playing in a little more effective.
However, this outburst has given me a diabolical idea.
I like that word diabolical, especially when Megatron uses it.
What's that, Prime?
Just to hit people in the fields right here. I was like, all right, here.
Or rather, it was. Now it's just a shell. I expended its energy to defeat you in front.
Oh,
Here is where
up there. Glad he's dead. You did good, Bob.
33 years ago. What was 33 years from 2020? April 11th,
Never
2020.
met. I'm Hot Rod. I was just brought online. Today, actually. Perceptor, Wheeljack, Ratchet, all of those smart bots have been working to replenish the ranks, and ta-da! You got me.
You have potential, Hot Rod.
Okay.
And I sense that you possess a truly good spark. If you
No,
would be willing,
alright, I don't know what that is.
I would be willing to teach you
Teach me what?
everything on how to be a prime.
Gonna do some math there for a second. There you go. That hit you in the fields there for a minute, just so you could see Prime start to lose his
We'll
cool.
lose everything.
What do you mean, Optimus?
We will kill them every day.
An ad, perfectly timed.
Ball.
Still waiting on that last cargo transport?
Yeah, I can't believe it's
This episode actually was fun. Lockbot CRM wrote a script
Finally.
and said I can just use it for whatever. I was like, I think it could actually fit in an episode of Siege. It would be a little bit of a flashback, but you know what? I think it would be good. I think it could fit. That Cybertron set looking so fucking good. I love it. You know, I never actually noticed that Laserbeak there has a serial number right there on it. I should actually cover that up. I never noticed that.
Decepticon, help! Someone help!
Crimson Raptor's right here with his War for Cybertron debut. He'd actually sent me a bunch of different audio yells, and I just kind of threw them all together to make his death even more violent, which I thought was funny.
It's been categorized as contraband by the Iacon Ministry of Science. But off the record, if you even try to hold this thing, it could literally melt your processor. Nuclear reactors are a tricky mistress. Oh, I forgot to mention, on the offhand you ignore my expertise, 1,000 of Iacon's finest peace officers will be alerted to your position. Good luck. Hold.
We have a lot of sayings about work. Like,
More ads. Love it. No, I don't really. Using that fancy lamp mode.
Auntie Megatron, when will you cease this gladiatorial campaign? There is only so much damage your form can take.
Shockwave, I've come to find that your scientific mind has yet one disadvantage. You lack emotion.
I deem emotion as a weakness.
On the contrary, emotion is but the greatest of strengths when used properly.
Noted, but I do not understand how this relates to combat.
When I step into the pits of chaos, when I brandish my energon mace, when I beat the living spark out of each and every opponent, it stirs something within the breath. It awakens their tendency to rebel. When I am victorious, they have no choice but to follow my lead. This campaign is the beginning of something much, much greater.
If you say so.
Welcome back, Soundwave. I understand that you made a seed tonight.
Oh yeah. Cool. I had already custom Soundwave's eyes by then. I had actually gone in with a red paintbrush and filled in the yellow eyes because I could not stand the yellow eyes. I wanted them to be red.
Yes, Shockwave. It was. This cannon is everything.
The Autobots were fools to develop a weapon of this caliber and then deem it too dangerous for their own use.
Armed with this, all who oppose me shall be eviscerated.
Release me, Megatron.
I'm tempted that you would no doubt meet your end by my fusion cannon. And I can't have that. Not yet.
I think you seriously underestimate me.
I do not wish to fight, Shockwave. I wish to make amends. I have envisioned a way for me to further my advance against the Autobots, while providing you an outlet for all this raw emotion you are carrying. I just require your scientific expertise to see it come to fruition.
What? How can all this be achieved?
Finale episode, yay! This one I was kind of thinking, like, wouldn't it be cool if we do like a bunch of hologram fights and then fake everyone out and make them think they're real fights?
Like this. Me and Rodimus were close.
I don't know. I was just trying to think, like, because originally I had come up with this idea. Oh, these three are gonna fight each other, and then it's gonna end, and that's gonna be the end of the series. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe I want to do a season 2. Earthrise would be an interesting season 2. But I still want to commit to the fight that I had promised. So I hologrammed it. The whole fight was a fake. It was a hologram. And I thought that was kind of like a funny little cool cop-out of actually killing everyone off.
Well, why don't we?
Why don't we what?
Let's go get his body back. That might help Optimus.
I agree. We all served with Rodimus on Cybertron before we all were captured. We owe it to our commanding officer to recover his body for a proper burial.
Okay, hold up. Let me get this straight. Your plan?
Transformers fan 5000 there, 6gun,
Again? When we just...
who actually just released his End of Days Part 1 movie. Today, actually. Today, the day of recording this.
We'd be stealing it in public view? Because that plan is so much better.
I'll ask around, see if anyone would like to tag along.
So we're actually doing this? I can't believe we're actually doing this.
You like complaining, don't you, Six Gun?
Both of you better hush up now. We're in enemy territory.
Look alive, boys. 12 o'clock.
It says his body's being kept as a trophy in the Coliseum.
And that's where we're going.
Yes, we are.
Copy that.
Take a look at those guards. I got some.
No, if you fire that, all of Chaos...
Ironhide's always using this line. I haven't used it a lot, actually. I got something for that. And he points his rocket launcher at it. It's one of his reoccurring tendencies in this whole War for Cybertron trilogy.
Position of authority.
I believe we are, how they say, in the same boat.
We are in no way, how you say, in the same boat. I have proven that I could rule Cybertron without Megatron, and without you.
Need I remind you who the superior warrior amongst is?
When we last battled, I was holding back.
Is this really happening?
Now, capture this footage and transmit it to Autobot HQ.
I gave you a simple task. Dark codes. Instead, you disappoint me with your meager squabble. You idiots!
Apologies, Lord Megatron. Shockwave insisted that I join him in a mutiny against you. That he would in fact rule Cybertron better than you.
Is that so, Shockwave?
Starscream, Wallop Potts, is not lying. I can and will rule Cybertron with a firmer grasp over its people, contrary to you.
I am always welcome to a challenge. But I should warn you, this is the path you wish to travel. It is a fatal one.
Fatal for you, Megatron.
You could not defeat Starscream. What makes you think this outcome will be any different?
As I informed Starscream, I was holding back then, and will do so no longer. Engage battle armor. Surrender, Megatron. Resistance is illogical.
I kind of like using that suit as a battle armor kind of thing, because everything on that exosuit is a gun. It's got guns all over. He can literally shoot any direction, in multiple directions. It's really cool. Even his feet are guns. It's cool. I like that. I didn't think I would like it as much when I first got the figure, but I did. I do. Excellent. Yeah.
Starscream, you traitor!
Get out of the way!
How dare you disrespect me?
Starscream, you fool! You're ruining everything!
Hold still, Starscream.
You must think me a fool.
Getting interesting.
Try not to stick around too long.
Who do we root for?
Starscream, probably. Out of all of them, he's the one easiest for us to defeat.
Sounds logic indeed. I hope he has what it takes then.
I must admit, I'm impressed, Shockwave. I never would have expected you to be this much of a challenge.
Of course not. You merely fell for the facade of a mad scientist who only sees things as illogical and not. Not realizing I have been slowly preparing for this moment. Training, upgrades, weapons development, strategizing. It's actually rather illogical you never caught on.
A mistake that I shall never make again.
You won't have the chance to.
So obvious, Megatron. Always so focused on what was in front of you, but never protecting from someone stabbing you in the back. Megatron's fusion cannon. I now hold the most powerful weapon in the universe. Bow.
Never.
Bow before me, Shockwave. Fine.
I would rather die.
Look, they killed each other.
They did. They destroyed themselves.
Hurry, we need to get Rodimus's body and get out of here. I can't believe they did this.
As I expected, projecting our scripted battle from our very minds using the cortical psychic patch so no actual damage would come to us. Explosive charges set in key places to simulate battle realism. Live dialogue provided, again via the cortical psychic patch. No bot could have seen through the charade.
I must say, using Rodimus's calls as bait and display to lure the Autobots was a clever idea, Starscream.
As Shockwave would say, it was only logical the Autobots would perform such a foolish act for a lifeless body.
This behavior is illogical, but predictable of the Autobots.
Yeah. And now they believe the Decepticon hierarchy is dead. They believe they've won this war. Optimus Prime will not be prepared when we crush them underfoot of our mighty Siege.
Siege name drop again.
This war will be over soon. We will be the ones who win it.
Yay! So, let's cross that out. That was the finale for Siege, or the whole Siege series, but I really enjoyed doing Siege. It was one, like I was talking about earlier, I only planned on doing a pilot episode. More came of it, obviously, which is great. And, it's just absolutely fantastic. And now we're going on, I'm finished writing season 2, started writing season 3, so Kingdom is already being written now. There's a casting call going for it. Check my community tab as well as on my Discord, because I'm updating that as roles are being cast. There are a decent number of roles still left, and it'll probably be the last casting call for War for Cybertron. I don't plan on doing too much more like casting with it. It's going to be strictly like a small number come Kingdom. So yeah, and it's also for the Earthrise too. Like it's Earthrise and Kingdom combined in this casting call. So jump on that if you want to be in Earthrise or Kingdom. Because I mean it's not going to happen again. Like not going to be another opportunity to be in the series. Once it's done, it's done. Unless there's the most irresistible figure. I might reach out to like someone every now and then, being like, "Hey, there's this character I want to throw in there." But as far as I can tell at this moment, this is it. So please take the opportunity to do that. If you have any further questions about Siege, feel free to leave that in the comments. And thank you for watching. Actually, I've been wanting to do this. It's different. I definitely didn't have as much to say as I thought I would. Maybe I will more in Earthrise. Maybe I'll do it again in Earthrise. Maybe not. I don't know. Let me know what you think of this, though. If this actually helped any, or if this was interesting to you, or if you were bored as shit. I mean, just let me know. And that will decide what we do from here on and out. Anyways, another episode of Earthrise hopefully comes out a week from today. That is June 12th. If not June 12th, then June 19th. One of those 2 Saturdays, there will be another episode of Earthrise. So until then, enjoy this look back at Siege with director commentary. And catch you on the dude side.